Okay, we're moving on to worksheet 4. So turn to worksheet 4. Great. Okay, now, do you see that little chart there that says third person possessive pronoun adjective? And it says reflexive, okay? So here, this is the Latin part, suu, sua, suum, okay? And the English meaning for that is gonna be his, her, its, or their, okay? And if you notice, it's in your book right here on page 51 at the very top, okay? Okay. So today we're gonna learn the difference between the suu, sa, which means his, her, or its, or their, versus the eus, which is his, her, its, and eorum, which is their, okay? We've got two different third person possessive adjectives, and we've got to figure out when we use which one, okay? So, okay, so here are my two different ones, okay? Got my eus, eorum, or earum, and this is like his, her, its, and this is their. Okay, so this one shows possession. Okay, it's third person, it shows possession. It is what they call non-reflexive. So you might want to write notes down somewhere in your workbook or somewhere. Okay, this is the key. It is non-reflexive. I will tell you what reflexive is in just a second. Okay, this one follows the pronoun agreement rule. Okay? Whenever you use these genitives, you're always doing the pronoun agreement rule, which, remember, the case is determined by its own clause. Okay, so in this sentence it says, Caesar praises his soldiers. Okay, praises his soldiers. Okay, let's jump over here. I'm going to come back to this in a second. But suu, sua, suum, it looks like a first and second adjective, right? With the u, sa, So it always follows the adjective agreement rule. It's always going to agree with its noun in case, number, gender. Okay? It shows possession just like the other one. But now this one is what they call reflexive. Okay? Reflexive means that it's in the predicate part of the sentence, but it reflects back to the subject. I like to think of that SU, that kind of is like the first two letters of subject, okay? It always reflects back to the subject, and this is how I know that that's a his, because Caesar is a guy. He's a dude, okay? So it'd be his. And it's a very, it's gonna be Caesar's soldiers. So the Caesar praises his own soldiers, okay? This is where this definition is gonna be better if you say his own, her own, its own, or even plural, their own, okay? And notice that milites is accusative plural, and so is the os and suos, okay? Okay, so Caesar praises his own soldiers. Now what's the difference over here? This one is not reflexive. This does not go back to Caesar. The his here is not Caesar. There may have been a sentence, maybe there's a sentence before this about Pompey. And maybe it goes back to that dude, okay? So this is saying Caesar praises his soldiers, but it's not his own soldiers, it's some other guy's soldiers, okay? It's not reflexive back to the subject. It's going to, if the antecedent is someone else, okay? And that's the difference. Okay? And so do you see how you wouldn't have a mix up in, you know how in English, the pronouns sort of get tangled up and you don't remember which one goes with what noun. And anyway, I don't know if what does your English teacher say? I can't remember now. Anyway, okay. So think reflexive, it reflects back to the subject, okay? And think of that SU to help you remember subject, okay? All right, let's see. Let's go on. Okay, I have a little sentence here. Let's see if we can figure out what we're gonna do. Okay, once upon a time, the Latin 2 girls had a villa in Italy. A painter came to paint their villa. The girls really liked their villa. Okay, we're gonna figure out what to do with their and what to do with their, okay? All right, so we know that there's possessive for the group of girls. It's gonna be feminine, plural, okay? So let's see. A painter came to paint their villa, and it's referring to the girls. Is girls the subject in this sentence? No. Okay, so you can't do the reflexive one because it's not the subject of the sentence, okay? So now we've got to do this one. Which one would I do? Would I do AUS, AORM, or ARM?
ARM.
Yeah, ARM because it is feminine plural, right? Okay, so that would be ARM. Okay, let's look at this sentence. The girls really liked their villa. Okay, which is talking about the girls. Is the subject girls here? Yeah, so now I can do their own villa. So now I'm gonna use this one, right? Okay, so it's gonna reflect, so it's reflexive. But now I gotta figure out how to do villa because the adjective has to agree with that. So if they liked the villa, it's gonna be accusative, singular, like that. So now I start with my Sue, and my ending has got to agree with that. So the Suam Willam, okay? This is the only part of that word that connects back to girls in the plural part of it. Okay, but this ending has to go with this word. Yes?
And for that one, you don't have to switch the villa because it's not connected to that. Like the there is not going towards the girls or towards the painter. Right?
Right.
Like that one.
Oh, this one?
Yes, that one you changed it to Willam, but you didn't have to do it.
Oh, right here, came to paint the what? This would still be Willam in Latin because it's still accusative.
Okay.
But remember with this particular one, its case is just determined by its own clause and it is a genitive. You don't have to agree with the willa. Okay? That's the tricky part with that one, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so a little crazy? Yeah. Okay, let's look at drill D then. And you can let's get some real examples here. Drill D, or E, we're gonna use the AUS, ARM, or AORM. Okay, we're gonna stick with that one, okay? So for his dog, the his just tells me it's singular, masculine, so AUS. And then I'm gonna put dog in the nominative, canis. So these two, you don't have to try to agree with these, right? You're only agreeing with the his, with that particular pronoun. So his dogs, it's still AUS, and then just turn your dogs into plural, canes. Her dog, AUS, canis. Her dogs, still AUS, still just her, but now your dogs is plural. Okay, this always stays genitive. Now here's one, to her dog. So this is tricky because this is still gonna be AUS. still genitive. This is the part that's dative. Okay, to the dog. So canis, canis, cani. Like that, okay? Let's try this one. To its land. Okay, remember, take this out. Its is just a use. And then we have to the land. That's where the dative comes in. Okay, so terra, terrai, terrai. Like that. Okay? Their land. You can do either eorum or arum. Land is terra. Of his dogs, so keep the his as a use. And now of the dogs, plural, ace, okay, conum. Of their dogs, there would be eorum, and then conum. Of her dogs, so back to a use, singular, and then conum. So you have to get your brain to kind of think differently with that. Good, you know, yay for the Romans who decided to make it harder. Okay. All right, now we're going to compare it to when you use su'usa and how you do that. Okay, so now we're going to switch to su'usa and drill F. Now we have to rely totally on the noun. Okay, his lion. Lion is leo, and then it's going to be reflexive, so it's going to be the su is my stem. Okay, lion is masculine singular. Nominative, so us. His lions. Now we got plural nominative masculine, so sui. Okay. Her lion, Leo. Lion is still masculine, okay? Don't let the her trick you. Still suus, okay? Notice these two are exactly the same. Leo suus, Leo suus. The only way you know it's her versus his is you have to look at the subject to tell you, was it Paulo's lion or was it Paula's lion, okay? And the subject will tell you what that is. Okay, her lions would be the same as number 2, leones, sui. Okay, now to her lion, let's put lion in the dative. Blank e, leone. I'm going to get my stem, and then I'm going to get lion as masculine dative, so su'u, sui, suo. Suo. Okay. It's a little tricky. Yes, it is. Okay. I want you to try 6 through 10 right now. You can stop the video or pause it, or I don't know.